Bitten by a radioactive people. Hip hop has always been a big part of my life. Cartoons, nerd culture, video games, comic books, movies, spitting game. Spitting Game is filmed in front of a live studio audience on location at Hollis, Queens. What's going on, guys? I had the complete honor of interviewing DMC, Mr. Darryl McDaniels himself, and we spoke about everything under the sun, from him being a comic book publisher, to how comic books shaped and influenced his life, to me being jealous of Spider-Man being from Queens, to everything else, from Godzilla to Bruce Lee, you name it, and why the year 35 was such an important age to him, and how it changed his life and everything he thought he knew about himself. So join me on this interview as I speak to the King of Queens, Mr. Darryl McDaniels himself, DMC. Enjoy. What's going on, party people, in the place to be? I'm with a man who needs no introduction, but I'm gonna introduce him anyway. This is the devastating mic controller right here, the man DMC, from music artist, to
comic book publisher.
Comic book publisher.
I can draw, but I didn't draw yet. I'll probably do the cover for DMC issue number 50.
That's right. So thank you so much for doing this, man, and taking time out. This guy's a busy man. I've been standing here for like 40 minutes trying to get this interview going, but he just has so much people showing him love that we had to put it to the side. But yeah, man, I wanted to start it off with, we know your music career at this point. We know everything you've done in music. We want to talk about this new chapter in your life, which is the comic books. And as you know, I always said, hip-hop, comic books go hand in hand.
Yep.
Video games,
Kung Fu movies,
Godzilla flicks, which I definitely watch.
Yep.
All of that goes hand in hand. These are things that help mold and influence DMC.
Yes.
And I just want to know, every comic book character has his origin.
Right.
What is DMC's origin?
Well, I'm not giving away the origin yet because we didn't do the origin story yet.
Yeah, I'm talking about your origin.
My origin.
If you were to say your origin,
okay.
What's Darryl McDaniels' origin?
My origin started with the Big Bang. And at the beginning, there was the Big Bang, and out of the Big Bang came everything that there is. And one of those things that is now and forever is comic books and rock and roll.
Yes.
That was my origin. It was comic books and rock and roll. So it was imagination and creativity, and music and creativity and imagination. Then what happened was, once that manifested itself, this thing called hip-hop started in the Bronx. And then, I lived in Queens though, I wasn't in the Boogie Down. But when this hip-hop came over the bridge from the Bronx into Queens, it allowed everything that I had inside of me to be released. So that's basically the DMC origin. It started with comic books when I saw comic books. It was just something about the art and the colors that are related. And then what was crazy about hip-hop, with hip-hop it was DJing, it was MCing, it was breakdancing, and it was the graffiti. And when the graffiti came along, it was like the comic book art had jumped off the pages and just stuck itself to every train and every wall in New York City. So it was hip-hop that brought the art to life.
That's a dope way to describe it. There's his origin right there, and I very much agree with that, man. There's something you said in another interview that I thought was dope. You said we were talking about the war, and we would see the war on TV, but Captain America brought you into it.
Yes.
We would talk about the cosmos, we talk about space. Silver Surfer made you feel like you were there, which I thought was super dope, man. That's such a dope way to describe it. And that's what comic books are. Instead of just us experiencing it or watching it, we feel like we're in it.
Yeah, you
escape from reality.
You
You get to throw yourself into the comic.
It's emotional, it's sensory perception, and that's the power of the imagination. Like Albert Einstein, the smartest man in history, said, imagination is more important than knowledge. He didn't say knowledge wasn't necessary. He said imagination is more important than knowledge, because what happens when you put what you know with your imagination? That's a powerful thing. And that's all basically that we do with this hip-hop thing. That's why we can relate to cartoons. We see ourselves in the cartoons. We see ourselves in the TV shows. We see ourselves in everyday experiences. We see ourselves in the movies. You know, Bruce Lee was like a god to us. Because we always, we all fighting against adversity. We always up against obstacles. So everything in existence is us. A lot of people think that pop culture was created for you. Oh, they made that for me, that movie's for me. No, it's deeper than that. The fact that you exist is why those other things that you're attracted to exist.
Yeah.
It starts with you, it starts with the captivating connection of something that is in existence because you are. And that's the fun part about it. Because now you can just do whatever you want with it.
Yeah, that's true.
Like yourself, you took all of your creativity and all your interests and you journal it. You know what I'm saying? You're speaking about it.
Yes.
You're speaking on what we're living.
Yes. That's true.
But without you doing that, we wouldn't be having it in existence, because then we wouldn't have nothing to talk to you.
Exactly.
So I like to go deep.
You went real deep. Because now I don't even know if I'm here right now. I feel like, do I exist?
But it's all about giving something to talk about. Like when hip hop came to Queens.
Yes.
I grew up in Queens. It was a lower middle class suburban area. It wasn't the Bronx. It wasn't the Brooklyn. We had houses.
He wasn't he's like behind plexiglass and shit. So.
But we had some of the same conditions. We had pimps. We had prostitutes, we had drug dealers, we had gangbangers. But what blew my mind was the Bronx was burning in the 70s. You know what I'm saying? The Bronx was crazy. These kids had nowhere to play, nowhere to go, and damn near nowhere to live. But look at what they created. They created a whole culture called hip-hop. And what bugged me out, the kids that had less than me, who was living in the war zone, was, when you would listen to the Funky 4+1, and when you would listen to PCB, and they'd be talking about, it's cool to go to school. They would talk about, we eat McDonald's. I realized that I'm a suburban, middle-class Catholic school kid. But by them making those records and rocking those rhymes and dropping those beats, I realized that we had a lot in common. And then they gave me the encouragement to talk about who I was. Hearing Little Rodney sing, hearing Sha-Rock was amazing. Sha-Rock's better than 99% of dudes out now. To all of you, my name is Sha. I'm not a millionaire, I don't have a car. But here's one thing I want you to know. Like, that don't mean nothing. I'm still somebody. I was like, what? So when I heard that, I just started writing rhymes. But prior to that, prior to me hearing hip hop, all I did was read collective Floyd. Because of the comic books. Because you know this, you get the comic book, after you read it a million times, you still want use out of it.
Yes.
So what I started doing was taking tracing paper. Remember tracing paper?
It's funny that whatever you're about to say, I can relate because I used to do the same thing. And I ruined many a comic book page by tracing over it and leaving the indentation out.
And sometimes you rip the comic book because you was pressing too hard.
Yep.
But it got to the point where I was doing tracing paper so much, that started in kindergarten. But by second grade, I didn't need the tracing paper. I could just look at the perfect drawing. Because look, when you're doing the tracing paper, it's rehearsal, it's practice.
Yeah.
You're doing the line over and over and over and over. So I'm doing Captain America and Spider-Man over and over and over since kindergarten. So by the time I get to second grade, I can just remember what the tracing paper is muscle memory. So then, in second grade, I was able to just look at a cover and whoa! I was like, how the hell I do that? But that's how I got into drawing. If you listen to King of Rock, the Easter eggs was always there. On King of Rock, Run says, because Run was DJ Run.
Yeah.
Who was rapping. Run was a rapping DJ like Grandmaster Flash. So Run's name was DJ Run. But on King of Rock, he says, I'm DJ Run, I can scratch. I don't say I'm DMC, I can rap. I say I'm DMC, I can draw.
That's right. Wow.
Easter egg was always right.
Yeah. Which actually brings me into my next question. So you said you grew up reading comic books, of course, as a lot of us did. What's one of the first comic books you remember picking up?
The first comic book. Well, the first comic book that brought my attention was Batman.
Batman?
I was little in kindergarten. My brother was 2 years older than me, so they, you know, the older kids was already into it. And the day I got to walk to the candy store, the comic books was only sold at the candy store and the drugstore on a revolving stand.
Yep.
There wasn't no comic book stores yet. Back then, you get it from where my dad get the newspaper from, is where you get the comic books. And I remember, make sure you hold your brother's hand. I'm standing there little. I just saw Batman cover, Detective Comics, and I was like, what? I want that. I didn't know how to read. I just looked at the pictures. But one of the first comics I consciously bought was Spider-Man. Because I saw a New York City landmark. Because DC was cool, but Gotham and Metropolis was trying to be New York.
Yeah.
Stan Lee is a genius. He's a god.
From the Bronx.
Stan Lee from the Bronx really put the superheroes in New York.
Yep.
So when I saw Spider-Man, you know, I would see the GA building on Park Avenue. I would see the Roosevelt Island Tram.
The Empire State Building.
The Empire State Building. I would see the Brooklyn Bridge. I would see the 59th Bridge. So it was Spider-Man that made me first consciously, and then it was Marvel.
And then
After I discovered Marvel, it was over.
And then it connects more to you because where was Spider-Man from?
It connects to me even deeper because Spider-Man is from Queens.
From Forest Hills, Queens.
Queens. Blew my mind. So it wasn't make-believe.
On the low, I'm not gonna lie, on the low that always used to break my heart because Spider-Man's my favorite character. And I was like, how come he couldn't be from the Bronx, man?
Exactly.
But had to give it up to Queens, man. Had to give it up to Queens. That's one thing I'll always be jealous of. But that's good to know, man. Spider-Man is my favorite.
The Lower East Side, Daredevil. So at least all the boroughs was represented in Marvel Comics.
Marvel was always a little bit more rooted in reality because they'll try to make it a scientific reason as to how they got their powers. In DC, it would just be like an alien came out of nowhere. He has so much money, he could just beat anybody up. You know, Stan Lee, he always tried to bring it down to reality. They would be from boroughs and cities that we actually recognize and knew. All right, so
that's why it was so relatable.
Yeah, so being that you already gave us your origin story and you gave us your favorite comic book, there's one thing that I wanted to say. I'm 35 now. 35 to you is an important number because it was a pivotal age for you. I would say, since you know comics, we know What If comics, which they just now turned into a show.
At 35 years old, I found out I was adopted.
Yes. That's the What If comic I want to get into. The DMC What If comic.
Yes.
What if you would have found that out sooner? How would that have changed your life?
Well, if I found it out sooner, it damn sure would be all through my rhymes.
Yeah.
Every rhyme you would have been hearing about me being an adopted kid, showing no shame. Then I found out I was a foster kid after that. So all of that would have been, the content of my rhymes would have included all of that. Which would have probably attracted a multitude of a bigger audience. Then it would have been, yo, I'm adopted like DMC. I'm a foster kid like DMC. Because nobody was talking about this.
Yeah.
Also, if I found out that I was adopted earlier, I probably would have went on a pilgrimage Because you gotta understand, when you were a kid, if I was 8 years old, I would have packed the bag and went on this journey. Comic books are liable to get you in trouble. I would have ran away from home. Or I would have went and said, Mom, I'm leaving. I'm going on a quest to find my real origin. So that's another possibility. And son of the other one of his son of Byford would have been much longer. Son of Byford, brother of Al. Banner's my mother and runs my pal. It's McDaniels, not McDonald's. These rhymes are Darryl's, those burgers are Ronald's. I ran down my family tree, my mother, my father, my brother, and me. But I found out they adopted me, so there's 10 more people to this family tree. A whole bunch of people that I'll never see unless I go and solve the mystery. Where am I from? Who do I be? But outside all of that, I'm still DMC.
Wow.
So I think
He just gave us a what if rhyme right now. That's how that rhyme would have been if he would have found that out way sooner. That's so
been crazy. Y'all would have known Byford, Banner, my birth mother, my birth, everything.
And you ended up finding out you were Dominican. Of Dominican descent.
No, I thought I was for 5 years.
Okay.
When I finally worked, I got the, what happened was this, when the secret came out. Now, what's crazy is Riggs, you know Riggs, that's your man.
Riggs
Shout
Morales.
out to Riggs.
Shout out to Riggs Morales.
We're rocking Riggs.
Riggs Morales.
So, Riggs was the guy that convinced me to do the comic.
Yeah.
So, when we started doing the comic book, we was finding out more stuff about me. Like the third day, I come to meet with him, about the comic book. He said, "What do?" I'm like, what? He said, D, you really on some superhero stuff. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He said, most superheroes are adopted. Most superheroes don't have to get parents. Batman. Superman. Spider-Man. So, it was crazy. You know what I'm saying? So, when Rick said that to me, I was like totally blown away. And
so you finding out who the Dominican?
Yes, now I found out it was Dominican. So when I finally did the search for my birth mother, let's back up. My adoptive parents, when they let the secret out, they say, we think you're Dominican. Because they wasn't really involved in the transaction.
You could pass for a Dominican.
Right, I know. Jay said that. Rest in peace, Jay said that. All they knew was my birth mother was from Hamilton Heights, which is up by Washington.
Yes.
Who's up in Washington Heights?
The Dominican.
So, for 5 years, I'm walking around, no soy back to the I was getting ready to be the Grand Marshal of the Dominican Parade. I was getting ready to make an all-Dominican rap album. So I'm going far. My wife, I love my wife. Shout out to my wife, Sarah. She says, don't you think you should wait on the verb to construe? But I'm just going off my parents. Nah, my parents know what they're talking about. They wouldn't lie to me. So, long story short, when I finally found my birth mother, I go into her house. Okay, where's my Dominican family at? Where's everybody at? She was like, Dominican? Who told you that you was Dominican? Ain't nobody Dominican. What it was she was living up in Washington Heights. At the time, she was carrying me around. Her mother and father sent her to live with her aunt, who was living in the middle of Washington, Hamilton Heights. But it's all about identity. This is Byford and Banner. They don't lie to me. They think I'm Dominican. I must be.
That's such a crazy thing to find out. The way you handled it, you went about it. That's definitely something to commend, and that's going to be such a big chunk of your story. When you finally decide to tell your story, that's going to be such a crazy part.
We wrote the script for the movie now.
Okay. Yeah, that was very emotional. I remember being still.
The movie's called Treaty of a Sunday. Because Sunday means two. I was split in two, literally.
With that being said, what's one song? You're gonna hold this right here. So we got the old school Transformers boombox right here. This, I want you to hold this and think of one song that defines you. If you said a song that defines you,
Wow, one song that defines me. Public Enemy's Rebel Without a Pause.
Wow.
Yes, the rhythm, the rebel, without a pause.
I'm lower at my level.
The hard rhymer, will you never been a man? You want style? Yeah. Public Enemy's Rebel with that noise, that's what you better fear when you hear that noise. You're going to see DMC.
Wow, that's dope. So Rebel Without a Pause. So you know, this is the boombox. So the boombox is what we would carry around back in the day.
Yes,
and,
on our shoulders.
and-
My son said, Daddy, when he was little, he said, y'all used to carry those around. I was like, yep.
How you think his arms got like that? It's from carrying these around. Way bigger than this.
Exactly, right. The 4-speaker JVC with the 2 cassettes.
Exactly. So the boombox we would play so everybody in the neighborhood and anybody around us could hear the song.
Yep.
Now, we had the Walkman.
Sony Walkman.
The Walkman was way more personal.
Right.
This, you would take it with you, probably get mugged for it if you were walking down the wrong block.
It was a big, big deal.
But you would
the little Walkman was a big deal.
the yellow and black Sony
Remember
Walkman.
that? Yes, exactly.
You would carry this around with you and you would listen to this personally, and this was more private. So with this, I want you to choose a song that changed your life. Because this is more personal.
With the Sony Walkman, the song that changed my life with the Sony Walkman. On the set.
Because this is more personal. This is what you hear in your head. Nobody else is hearing this but you.
Had Big Daddy Kane's album on a cassette. Ain't No Half Step.
Crazy.
On my Walkman, I heard that. I thought my career was over. Ain't what the hell you trying to do? Don't do that no more.
Wow. So, Rebel Without a Pause, song that changed his life, Ain't No Half Step. And I think that song changed a lot of people's lives.
Yes, when that dropped, it was like, what the? Let me listen to this all day, over and over and over and over and over. What the hell is going on?
Yeah, man. He
1988.
He changed the landscape of rap with that one.
Oh, for sure.
I can say that. I was younger. I was a baby at that point, but even I know the effect that that song
Did you hear that? Oh,
Yeah.
something else.
Now, when it comes to video games, being that hip hop and video games came up at the same time, and you guys were definitely on the rise when video games were a new thing, and that was the most popular thing out. What's
The Mario with the made the funny noise that I never learned to play?
the one that came on this Nintendo right
Yes.
here?
Yep, with the frick, with the noises and the
So
turtles.
Mario, yeah.
Mario.
Yeah.
My brother was into Star Wars, Space 1999. Remember
Wow.
that? What else was my brother? He was the scientific space guy. I'm the Godzilla, the black and white Godzilla, Destroyer Monsters, Gamera, the Rodan, and all of that. I'm the 1930s Bela Lugosi, Lon Chaney Jr.
Boris Karloff.
Boris Karloff, that's who I am. My brother, he brought that home, and he went and teach me how to play. So I found myself in the basement trying to do that. But then by that time, I was totally going into rock and roll. We went video games, I went rock and roll. I went Led Zeppelin, Beatles, Janis Joplin, the storyteller folk song guys, Harry Chapin, Jim Croce. But Mario, Super Mario, right?
Yeah.
Was it Super Mario?
Super Mario Bros.
Rick, that was an experience for me because I'm in the basement alone trying to learn it, not reading the direction. There was nobody else around to play with me. It was crazy. But
Now,
Super Mario was legendary.
I'm gonna pull an artifact out the bag. All right, so you already know what this is right here.
Yes, this is.
If you could put on this glove and change one thing in the world,
Oh wow.
what would it be? If you had the power to change anything, what would you change?
Oh, what Harry Chapin is. The fact that people in this rich-ass nation, with all these billionaires and gazillionaires and all these entrepreneurs and all of these well-off people, even us middle-class folks, the fact that globally, how in the hell can you say somebody doesn't have something to eat?
That's great.
I would snap my finger that there will be an overabundance of nourishment in sweets and cookies, in candy and cake, and carrot cake, and cream cheese cake, for everybody. And the healthy stuff, you know, vegetables and stuff like that. But I would snap my finger that within 10. Because once you can eat, the brain and body's good. You can more comic books and more movies. So I would snap my finger.
And two last things. So this segment right here is inspired by Mobb Deep. It's called Drop a Gem on It.
Oh.
Drop a Gem on It.
Drop a gem on it.
This is from a game called Zelda. These are rupees.
Oh, he's a fan.
Oh, you're a Zelda fan?
That's it. Expert, though.
All right, so
I'm glad he's here.
Boom. So right
You
here
know about these?
we have the rupees from Zelda.
That's nice.
So we got these rupees right here, the Zelda rupees. Grab any one of these rupees and I want you to drop a gem on the public. I want you to drop like a nugget of information or
The green rupee. I guess for the Green Lantern. That's my son.
Green Lantern.
Drop a gem on the people. No matter what's going on in your life, no matter what's going on around you, no matter how dark, no matter how down, no matter how desperate you feel, there's a reason for all of us to be here or else you wouldn't have been born. And one of those reasons is no matter who you are, forget about the money, forget about the fame, forget about people liking you, forget about you wanting to be part of something they're not letting you be part of because you're already part of something. The main reason that you are here is that your story, who you are, can save another person's life. So all of you, young, old, big, small, foreign, alien, underground, I don't care who you are, where you're from, or what you're going through, you are here so that you can save somebody's life. That makes you more important than all of these stupid entertainers, and all these athletes, and all these knucklehead rappers and rock stars. You have a big responsibility because you was put here so you can bless somebody else. There will be your reward.
And the last one, right here.
Groupies, not groupies.
This is the shameless plug right here. I want you to hold this plug. Here's where you can plug where they can find you, what you're working on, and what you got coming next.
Shameless plug. Right now, go to Spotify and all the other platforms. 3 weeks ago, I put out a song. It's called America. Now, it's not about the knucklehead America that these stupid politicians, and I'm talking about all of them, Democrats, Republicans, conservatives, liberal, not about those knuckleheads. I'm talking about the America that we know, that's full of comic books, and movies, and cartoons, and coloring books, and finger painting, and heavy metal, and hip hop, and rock and roll dudes. So check out DMC's America. It's on all platforms. Because that's the single off the EP that I'm doing vinyl, yes. It isn't final until the music is on vinyl. The vinyl is coming in a couple of months, and the vinyl features artists that everybody know are not just great celebrities. Don't call me a celebrity because that is something I could never be. I have features with Chuck D, a Public Enemy, Ice-T, DJ Jazzy Jeff, yes, Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, Bumpy Knuckles. I also have Nick Mars from Motley Crue, Duff McKagan from Guns N' Roses, Sebastian Bach from Skid Row. Yeah, this album and this EP is going to be mind-blowing. I also have the incredible, the Red Rocker, Sammy Hagar. And I have the queen of everything, the one and only Joan Jett. And a couple of more good friends. I have Black Top Mojo, one of the greatest bands in the history of bands being in existence. So I got new music coming. Right now, this is DMC 3.5. Issue
3.5.
number
Let
one.
me hold
Yes.
this up to the camera.
That's DMC
3.5.
3.5.
Make sure you cop this.
That's
The Block
out
This
now.
Rating.
That is setting up DMC graphic novel number 4 coming soon. So go to Spotify or go to Tidal or go to the things, the new digital thing. I'm vinyl. I don't know about all this, but I have a new song out called America. Go check that out, and I got more comic books coming because we want comic books, we want TV shows, we want this guy on every network instead of CNN and Fox News and all of those people.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
I love you.
That's that on that. You heard it from the man himself. DMC, thank you so much, Darryl. I appreciate it. This is such a dope interview. And we got to let this guy get back because there's a line of people waiting here for him. So let me get out of here. This is Chris, a.k.a. No Continues.
Yo, what's up, y'all? This is me, DMC, and the place to be, the K-I-N-G. Y'all know my name, but I want to put you up on something. It's all about spitting game.